Okay, good morning once again. So the file that I gave you is a file that is pre-answered, at least part of it. Some already have answers because I used this in another class. So let's just uh, uh, go through this file. We won't be able to finish everything. So the rest of the items here will be. I requested you to attend uh, this Friday session, right? I think 9:15. Okay, so for R, there are different types of data classes. Okay, here is our code chunk. Okay, if you recall, this is our code chunk. And I gave this a name, data classes. So first, a data can be numeric. Okay, in other programs, in other languages, it's called a float. Okay, any number uh, that does not have any L attached to it is numeric. When you say numeric, that data, that number can take on any decimal place. As it's distinguished from the integer. If you're working with integers and if you want a particular number to be an integer, then you have to attach L to it, like this, 45L. Okay, so this refers to an integer. And a character, on the other hand, has quotes in it. For example, R studio. So this will be is considered as a character. Okay. A number may also be a character. However, you have to put quotes here. Okay, so this is also a character data. Data can also be logical, okay, true or false, or Boolean, logical or Boolean. So it can be T. So the letter T can be is considered as logical also, or F. Okay. By the way, if you choose capital F, okay, so this is not a logical value. It has to be capital F. Okay, you can see that it was distinguished from from the F a while ago, which is white, no? White color. Ito, medyo anong color yan? Okay, so this is not logical. This one false. That word there is not considered as a logical value. If I, for example, uh, see class, if I get the class of the word false, okay, that object false, then it tells us that object false is not found. Okay. However, if I check class and then true, okay, so you can see here it's logical. Okay. If I test again class and then T, this is also logical. Okay. So by the way, you can write your codes in the either in the console or in the code chunk itself in the source window. Okay, then aside from numeric, integer, character, logical, a data can be complex. Complex numbers are those that contain both a real component and an imaginary component. If you recall from your algebra, I here stands for the square root of -1. Okay, then it can also be, data can also be date. Okay, in this subject, we're going to work on dates because financial data usually is tied with time series. So we're going to use dates in our exercises. All right, so let's leave the discussion of dates in the future. Okay, when you create objects in R, okay, you use this. This is called your assignment operator. Okay, so it's less than and then the dash. Okay, and there's a shortcut for that. For those of you using Windows, you can just type, for example, let's rewrite this C and then Alt minus. So that's a shortcut because it's quite long to do Shift, less than, and then minus. The shortcut is Alt minus For Mac users, it's option minus. Okay, could you kindly follow along and try to see? And chat, please, if you were able to write the assignment operator, this one, less than and then dash. Okay, thank you. Igo, how about the others? Okay, Margo, thank you. Matt, thank you. Sino pang isa? Mariel. Okay, thank you. All right, so the shortcut is Alt minus. Okay, and what does this stand for? This is an assignment operator, which means that, for example, I write here 500. Okay, so this number here, 500, okay, is being assigned this name, okay, C. So that if I want this to be printed, if I want to print the value of C, I just type C here and then Control Enter. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, wait. I haven't, okay, I haven't run this one, C. So C is 500. If I print C, there, you can see the value of C. Okay, and then you can see here, okay, you can see now that we used C as the name of this value 500, and in your global environment, you can now see that there's this object called C, and then the value is 500. So we can now use this object called C and do some operations with it. For example, 2 times C, okay, 2 times C, Control Enter, it will give us 1000. R recognized the variable C, the object C. Okay, and then you can, of course, perform any other operations with C. Okay, clear so far, class? Paki-chat naman kung for some of you, this is just a quick review. Are we clear so far? Okay, thank you. Okay, so how do you print the value of a particular variable or object? So as I said, you can just type the name of the object C and then Control Enter, or you can use this print C. Okay, so let's run this Control Enter. Okay, and you can see also that it once again printed the value of C. Okay, but if you want to print the value of the object, let me call this C1. C1, okay, and it's equal to 100. If you want the object to be printed automatically without you having to write C1 again, you can use open and close parentheses on the code itself. So here, C1 assigned 100 is assigned to C1 and then open and close parentheses. If I run this, Control Enter, then you have here 100. Okay. All right. So we can assign not only one number, but several numbers to an object. Okay, so here we're assigning to D these values 1.23, 3.14, etc. And the C here actually stands for concatenate or to combine. So yung ibig sabihin ng concatenate, no? It means combine. So we're combining these values 1.23, etc. So let's run this. Okay, let's run this. So we know that this will print the values, okay, because we're putting this in parentheses. So Control Enter. So here we can see the values, okay, of D. Okay, and let's check what's the class classification of D. What data type can we find in D? We know that that should be numeric. Okay, even if well, 4 do not have decimal places and 5 do not have also, does not have. However, it's still considered as numeric because it means that this can take on decimals. Okay, we can also assign, we can also create, here, these are characters, okay? And then we're creating this object called obj. So let's run this. And we know that it will automatically print the elements A, B, C, D, E because we place it in parentheses. And then let's check the class of this. We know this will be character. Okay. Pause for a while. Kindly chat, please, if you're okay, kung clear so far. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so let's have now this sample. Okay, generate random numbers. Okay. So in R, you can generate random numbers. And if you want a help in a particular function, for example, this R norm, you can type this one, question mark, R norm, or it can be also double question mark, the function. So let's run this, control enter. Okay, and it will give us here in the help window pane. Okay, so this is coming from the stats package. So this is the package. So these are the codes, the functions that we can use: D norm, P norm, Q norm, and R norm. So it's a family of functions. Okay, and it gives a detailed description of what D norm, P norm, Q norm. For example, D norm gives a density, P norm gives a distribution function, Q norm gives a quantile function, and R norm generates some random deviates. So this is what we're using. It will generate a set of random, of normally distributed numbers. So instead of question mark, you can of course use the help function. Now, what's good with the help function is that it gives you a detailed idea or instructions on what the function is all about. Here it gives us the syntax. Let's say here R norm, n min is equal to 0, SD is equal to 1. So here you define the mean and the standard deviation. Mean is equal to 0 and SD is equal to 1. If you recall from your stat, kapag 0 yung mean at saka standard deviation is equal to 1, that is what we call a, what do you call that, class? From your stat, what do you call uh, a normal distribution with the mean equal to 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1? Anyone, please? Do you recall what kind of normal distribution that is? It's your anyone? Starts with letter S. What kind of normal distribution is that? Okay, thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Margot. Yeah, you're correct. It's a standard normal distribution with mean equal to 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1. Okay, so let's try this. Here I'm creating this object called f, and we're assigning f to this value. We're using R norm and then 10. So if you take a look at the syntax of R norm, so the number here, n, the number 10 here is your n. And what's n? N is a number of observations. Okay, so which means that R will generate a set of random numbers that's normally distributed, and 10 numbers. And then the whole code is mean is equal to, you have to define the mean and the standard deviation. You also have to define the standard deviation. However, if it's a standard normal distribution, it's okay not to include this, okay, because that's the default. Whether you include it or not, Excel R will treat this as a generating random numbers that are normally distributed. Okay, so if we run this, okay, could you please tell me if we get the same answers? If we get the same set of random numbers? Kindly chat, please. Okay, thank you, Matthew. How about the rest?
Sir, where did you get yung line 53?
Line 53. Wala ba dyan sa inyo?
Uh,
Wala.
have
It will
it.
generate random numbers. If it's not there, guys, kindly just write it. No? Okay, by the way, before I forget. So what do you call this? This is a code chunk, right? And if you're using an R Markdown file, you should codes are written in a code chunk. And do you recall? Did I discuss yesterday how to write a code chunk shortcut? The long cut is of course backticks and then curly brackets R, and then you have to close the curly brackets. Okay, so this is what we call a code chunk, and in an R Markdown file, codes are written in a code chunk. Okay, to make sure that the outputs are reflected also in the source window here. Okay, what's the shortcut to write this? Because here you have to use 3, 4, 6, 9 keys in order to generate that code chunk. What's the shortcut for that? What's the shortcut, class? Okay, is any one of you using a Mac machine? Or kindly chat please if you're using Windows or Mac iOS. Mac, okay, Matthew, Mac, Windows. Okay, ikaw, Igo, what are you using?
Windows, sir.
Okay, so two of you are Margot and si Mariel, no? Hindi. Margot and Matthew are using Mac. All right. So what's a shortcut to write a code chunk? For Windows, it's Control plus Alt plus I. For Mac, it's Options plus Command plus I. Okay, so could you kindly try? Please try, everyone, whatever your machine is. And please chat if you were able to generate this code chunk. Okay, thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Margot. How about the others? Okay, thank you, Marielle, and thank you, Igo. Okay, all right, that's good. So we know how to write or create a code chunk shortcut. Okay, Control Alt I for me. Okay, there. So there's a code chunk. Okay, let me delete that. Okay, so do you have this? Do you have this R norm, this object F? We were, I think, kindly chat please if you have that. Otherwise, I'll give you time to write that code.
Sir, hanggang number 10 lang po. Wala po yung mean tsaka yung SD.
Number 10. Okay.
Up.
You can write this. Huh? Thank you. You can write this mean is equal to 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1. Okay, what I said was it's okay not to write this. If we don't write this, if we don't write that, okay, R will recognize that what we want is a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. Okay? Is that clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry, I need to put here 10. Okay, so control enter. So who among you have the same random numbers as mine? Kindly chat yes or no if they're different. Okay, no. I was expecting that. No, no class kasi we have these are random numbers. These are 10 random numbers generated by R. Now, if we want to generate the same random numbers, we use this function. Okay, so we use this set.seed and we write the same number. That way, R will generate the same random numbers. Okay, so for example, let's go to this next line. We're creating an object called G, and we're generating 20 random numbers with mean is equal to 5 and standard deviation is equal to 0.5. And let's use the head function. Okay, the head function will print for us the number of lines of values. So if you want, the default is 6. Okay, the default is 6. So if you don't write any number here, for example, if I write 100, then it will give us, no, sorry. If I write here 20, because there are only 20 observations that we listed here, we can, of course, list more. Okay, so if we want to print the whole, because it's G, this one, and the number of observations, okay, that we want printed, it's 20, then it will print everything. Okay, but let's just print, let's say, just 10. Okay, so if we run this, what did you get, class? Did you get the same values as I did? Okay, same, no? Same because the use of the set.seed, okay, allows us to generate the same random numbers. Okay, so you have here the first 10, although our object G, if you check G here, it's a numerical vector, and then we have 1 to 20. Okay, clear so far, class? Kindly chat, please, if we're clear so far. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, let me just close this. Okay, let's create this one. So once again, we use the same set.seed. Let's use that. If you use another number, then it will generate different set of normally distributed numbers. Okay, set.seed 100. And then let's create this object run, which is our norm again. Let's generate 1,000 numbers with mean is equal to 50 and standard deviation is equal to 2. Okay. So if you run this, let's just run the first 3 lines. it will print for us the last 6. So these are the last 6 observations. Why? Because we used tail. I highlighted tail of the variable that we generated run. Okay, so the tail is the last 6. That's the default, unless you put a number here, just like in the head. If I put 10 here, okay, so just place 10. Okay, so this should be your last 10. Okay, kindly chat once again if you got the same figures.
Again, sir, what do you do po?
Sorry?
Yung for yung set seed 100.
Ito, no? So set that seed 100 tayo. And then we're creating this object called run. So nagka-create tayo ng isang object na ang pangalan niya run. Tapos, we're using again yung R norm, which will generate random numbers that are normally distributed. And then, ilang observations? 1,000. Mean is 50. Standard deviation is equal to 2. And then, ito, I just run the first 3. The tail will print for us the last 10 here. Okay, kindly check if we have the same figures.
Sir, thank you.
Yes? Okay na?
Yes.
Igo ba yun? Igo?
Yes po.
Okay, Igo. Did you get the same answer, Igo?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. About the others, okay lang ba so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now let's see. So we now have in the observation here, you can see we now have this object. Okay, it's numerical. Okay. All right. Is the data type of run, are they all numerical? Kindly chat, please, if they're all numerical. Okay, thank you. Yes, they're all numerical. And this is a special name. As far as structure is concerned, this is what we call a vector. Okay, so what are vectors? Vectors are objects in R that contain the same data type. Okay, so that object called run is a vector because all the elements of that object is the same. So lahat sila numerical. So pag pare-pareho ang laman, numerical yun. I mean, vector ang tawag dun. Okay? Which actually we're going to study in a while. All right, so this is called vector, no? Okay. Then we can also compute for the average mean of run. Okay, so let me compute. Ito na, sabay-sabay na lang. Okay. So do you get the same mean, median? Same values ba tayo, class? So I highlighted this. Do you have the same values, class? Kindly chat, please. Same values, okay. Thank you. Hindi ko nakita yung chat nyo. All right. So of course, they will be the same because we're dealing with the same data set. And you can compute for the minimum, maximum, the sum of the numbers, and the standard deviation. Okay, so there are two things here that we want to learn. Let's also include structure. Okay, now there's this function called summary, and depending on your data set, it will give us some summary statistics. So let's run both. No, let's run summary first. Okay, what do you have? You have the minimum, the first quartile, the median, the mean, the third quartile, and the maximum. So this is what we call the 5-number summaries, okay, excluding the mean. Okay, these are all needed in order to generate your box plot. Itong 5-number summary na to. Kailangan yung minimum, yung maximum, first quartile, second quartile, third quartile. If you know these things, then we can generate a box plot. Okay, so si min, sinama lang niya, but it's not really necessary in order to generate your box plot. Ang kailangan lang para ma-generate yung box plot is minimum, maximum, first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile. Okay. So later on mag-example tayo ng box plot. So if we can use this hist, which is the histogram function from the base R package. So let's run this. Okay, we can see here a histogram of our object run. Okay, did you get the same plot, class? Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Okay, so you can see here that the plot, the histogram of this data, this run, it's pretty normally distributed. As you can see, the highest points are here in the mean and the. If you actually look at the, if we look at the first number summary, let me go here. Here. Okay, the mean is 50.03, the median is 50.07. That's a that's a signal, okay, that can show that this is a normally distributed. This has a normal distribution, because for a normal distribution, the mean and the median are the same, if not practically the same. So dito ang median natin 50.07, si mean 50.03. Okay? All right. Questions so far, class? Let me pause for a while. Yes or no, please, kung may questions, para lang ma... Okay, none, thank you. About the others? Don't be ashamed to ask questions, class. Okay, Matthew, okay so far? Okay, good. Ayan. Medyo naglalag lang tong ano. Okay, so all right, let's get the class. Yung class ni Ran, ano siya? And we expect it to be numeric, di ba? Now there's this other function called type of. Okay? We can see here that the class of Ran is numeric, the type of is double. See, double is actually also numeric. No? However, in this instance, ginamit, R is making use of another classification for numeric. Yung double na yan, it just means that yung space, yung bytes na ginagamit for a numerical data is, well, kaya nga double, no? Ibig sabihin, mas mataas yung, yung bytes, yung space, yung space na binibigay for a numeric variable or numeric data as compared, for example, to an integer. Kasi si integer, ano lang naman siya, di ba? Walang decimal place. So, hindi siya kailangan ng mas malaking byte as compared to a numerical variable, which requires or which may or may not need a decimal place. Ganun yung integer. And so we go here to this example. All right, here we're creating an object called C, and it's a vector of integers kasi 1L, 2L, 3L, 4L, 5L. Okay, so why don't we run everything here? Okay, first, yung object natin, yung E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, print niya, di ba? Kasi may parenthesis dyan. And then, what's the class of this object called, oops, sorry, class of E? Okay. Here, I was just comparing. No? Okay. All right. Class ni E is integer. Class ni run is numeric. Tapos class, type of ni E is integer again. Type of ni run is double. So you can see, pag integer, sorry, yung class integer, yung type of integer pa rin. Pero kapag numeric, yung class niya, numeric, and then the type of is double. And as I said, the purpose a while ago is just to make sure, is just to denote that pag numeric, mas mataas talaga yung double, no? Mas mataas yung ginagamit na 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 byte size, okay? Guys, sandali lang Let me just may question lang sa department, no? Sandali lang Pause. Okay, sorry about that, class. May tawag lang sa department. No? All right. Okay, and then so we have yung length, no? Yung length ni E. Di ba si E, 5 integers lang, kaya 5 siya. Tapos length ni run, 1,000. And then there's this other classification, yung mode, but we're not going to really go deep into that. Kasi si E, okay, di ba si E integer yan. Pero ang integer is actually numeric also. So, parang yung mode class, it's a broad classification. Okay? Broad classification si mode, tapos lower si class, tapos mas specific na classification si type of. So this is just what I wanted to demonstrate here. Mode is a broader classification. So whether integer or a number having decimals that may or may not carry decimals, numeric yun. When we go now to the class, okay, so si numeric, pwedeng maging integer siya, pwedeng maging numeric na yung may decimal. Okay? And then yung type of, yung integer pa rin, pero yung numeric, double na yung yung subclassification. So you can see from yung mode, numeric, class of, numeric, and then mode, class, numeric, type of, double. No? Let me repeat that. Yung mode, numeric siya. No? Okay? And then class, numeric, and then type of, double. On the other hand, pag integer siya, ang mode, numeric. Ang class, integer. Ang type of, integer. Okay? Ano lang siya? Classification lang siya, no? I just wanted to illustrate na si mode yung pinakamataas, no? Parang broad na classification lang. Okay. So, again, class, may I have your feedback kung okay ba yun yung dinescribe kong yun. Although yung mga nitty-gritty na yung ganyan, hindi naman natin kakailanganin yan. Basta alam lang natin yung distinction ng numeric at saka ng integer. Okay? So everything clear so far, class? Okay, thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask questions. All right, so here, okay, so si summary ni Ran, okay, di ba si Ran siya yung 100 na natin? 100 random numbers, okay? Nagawa natin to kanina, di ba? So we saw that the median and the mode are almost the same. So ganyan kasi pag normally distributed. Halos pareho lang si median at si mode. Okay? By the way, okay, let's see. I think we forgot. Did we take this? Anyway, mean ni Ran, tsaka kasama natin si median, si standard deviation ni Ran, SD of Ran. Okay, so let's check if the random numbers that we generated really has a mean of 0. Sorry. Si Ran ano ba? Ito si Ran, ano? Ang mean niya, tama, 50. Tapos ang standard deviation niya, 2. So let's check if indeed the mean of Ran is 50. Tama. So now, 50 siya. 50.03. And the standard deviation, is it 2? Yeah, it's approximately equal to 2. All right, so indeed, class yung numbers na generate randomly, normally random numbers, which we said to be normally distributed with a mean of 50 and the standard deviation of 2, we were able to verify that. Okay, yung random numbers na generate has a mean of approximately 50, and approximately the standard deviation is 2.06. All right. Okay, so R is a very powerful language, powerful software, because there are many from different fields, different bodies of knowledge that have contributed to making R really robust. So meron diyang mga contributions from different fields like social sciences, natural sciences, physical sciences, from finance, economics, from mathematics, etc. There are some who know the topic, who know the what should I call it, topic, or what's a good name for that? Okay, anyway, a top particular topic, and then who know how to code. So they have created several programs which contain functionalities related to that field of study, kunyari psychology, kaya math, kunyari. So may mga gumawa ng packages which can do integration or differentiation. Okay? So, and these are contributed to CRAN, yung Comprehensive R Archive Network. And then binevet yan, tinitingnan ng isang body, ng isang committee. So if it's okay, then it will be posted sa CRAN with the objective, with the purpose of making this available to the others. No? Para maging available siya sa iba. Okay. All right. So an example of a package, a very powerful package, is ggplot2. So ggplot2 is a data visualization package. So when you install R and RStudio, ggplot2 will not be available. Okay, so you need to install it first. There are some packages that come with R and RStudio, but ggplot2 is not one of them. So it has to be added to RStudio. So the code that we use is install that packages. Okay, install that packages. So when we run this, okay, if you don't have it installed yet, paki-run to, Control Enter. But if you have it installed, you don't have to run this. Okay. So Igo, I think baka ikaw lang yung yung walang yung hindi pa na-install siya. Can kindly please, were you able to install already? I-run mo tong line na to. Install that packages.
Yes, sir, I ran it na.
Naran na? Okay, good. Now, when it's run, it's not automatic that we're able to get the functionalities of of that package. So we have to run library, or you can use require ggplot2 or library. So for everyone, we have to run this kasi even if your ggplot2 is already installed there, you still need to run this code in order to have the functionalities loaded. So i-run natin tong ggplot2. Okay, so this is one way to not to run, but to load it. Another way to load it is here in packages. Dito, if you have ggplot2 already installed, you can go here and type gg. Okay, so lalabas yung mga gg yan, ggplot2. So you can just click this. Okay, when you click this, it's the same as writing library ggplot2. Okay. All right. Then ggplot2, if you want to learn more about ggplot2, you can click this here. And dito sa help function, dyan, it's a pretty comprehensive support, no, for this package. And let's click this description file. It will give us that the current version is 3.4.0. Okay. And this creates elegant data visualizations using the grammar of graphics. GG stands for grammar of graphics. And the authors are, pinaka main author si Hadley Wickham, and then ito pa raw si Winston Chang, okay? But the person who really originated this was Hadley Wickham. And then pumasok na lang iba in order to improve on the package. So what is this package all about? It's a system for declaratively creating graphics based on the grammar of graphics. My book entitled The Grammar of Graphics, which was written by Hadley Wickham, who is the originator of this package. So what happens here is that you provide the data, tell ggplot2 how to map the variables to aesthetics, and then what plot to use, what graphical primitives to use, and it takes care of the details. Okay? So this is a way of plotting objects in R. There's one way that yung base R lang, yung base package, which already comes with pre-installed with R. So you can also plot objects using the base functions. And also there's this other method called lattice, okay, which is an improvement of base. No? So dati base lang, tapos nagkaroon ng lattice, mas powerful siya kay base. Tapos meron na ngayon yung ggplot2. I think this was originated 2014, if I'm not mistaken, around that time. But it has gone through several versions na, 3.4.0 na siya ngayon. Okay. All right. So dito, sinasabi dito, these are the I think, yeah, these are the functionalities. Ito. So, ang daming functionalities, ano? Okay, isa sa functionality na yan, let's see. Dito kaya yun. Let's see, may letter D ba dito? C. Okay. Hindi siya naka-identify, pero usually, packages come with data sets, no? They come with data sets. So let's go back here. I-backspace ko lang to. So just like ggplot2, may mga data sets dito. So tingnan natin. Example. Ito, diamonds. So this is a data set that we can access because we have already loaded ggplot2. Okay? So yung diamonds, prices of over 50,000 round cuts of diamonds. So let's do that. Ito, no, here, we wrote this function, data diamonds. It will allow us to access this. Pero tingnan muna natin dito. Run natin tong sa help function, yung data set na to. So it's a data set consisting of over 50,000 round cut diamonds. So a data set containing the price, okay, etc. So ito yung ano niya, ito yung mga variables niya. It's a data frame with 53,940 rows and 10 variables. The variables are yung price, yung carat, yung cut, color, clarity, X, Y, Z, depth. Okay? All right. So this is what you call, class, this is what you call a metadata. Ang tawag dyan, sulat ko lang dito, no? It's called a metadata. What's a metadata? Metadata is data about the data. Our data is diamonds. So anything, any information about the data, like this one, okay, so dito dinidefine eh. Kunyari, anong yung price niya? Price is in US dollars. Binigay pa yung minimum, 326 to $18,000. Okay, so that's the price variable. Then you have carat, the weight of the diamond, binigay din yung minimum hanggang maximum, etc. No? And let's take a look. Yung cut daw, quality of the cut. So there are 5 types here. Fair, good, very good, premium, ideal. 5. And color, okay, D hanggang J. So yung color ng diamond, J being the worst, D being the best. Okay? So ito din, clarity, measurement of how clear the diamond is. So worst to best. Best is 1F, no? Okay, etc. So ito X, Y, Z, mga yung ano siya, yung dimensions on the x-axis, y-axis, and the depth Z. Okay? All right, so we have also the depth, and we have here table. So ito yung data set natin. So let's access that using the data function. When we run this data diamonds, you'll see that, tignan natin dito sa ilalim. Yan, makikita natin class na may diamonds na dito. Okay, promise, pero kasi hindi pa natin na-print. If we have this printed like ito, view. Okay, view diamonds to generate a worksheet. Okay, it will generate a data here. Tapos andi dito yung 10 variables natin. Carat, cut, color, clarity, depth, table, price, XYZ. Okay, and as we can see, what are the types of data that we can find here? Paki-chat please. Igo, anong data anong klaseng data? What data type can you find here? Okay, thank you, Igo. Yeah, you're correct. Numeric. Ano yung numeric dito? Pwede kang mag-unmute, ha? Ano yung mga numeric dito?
Sir, yung depth,
Depth, oo. Depth, di ba?
table,
Yeah,
X,
table. Yeah, ang dami, no? Depth,
Yes.
table, price. We don't know kung price is integer kasi wala sa mga decimal places. But we can check kung ano yung class ng price. We'll do that in a while, no? Yung XYZ din. Okay, Matthew, how about you? Ano yung mga character variables dito? Character type.
Color,
Color, okay.
cut,
Cut, okay.
and clarity.
Clarity, okay. Yeah, thank you. So itong mga to, character siya, no? But may mga okay, character can be further classified, no? Kasi may mga character variable which can be used as a classifier. Okay, for example, tinanong kayo, year level. Kunyari may survey, no? And you were supposed to answer year level. Are you frosh, sophomore, junior, senior, or graduating? So if you answer, for example, frosh or senior or junior, what type of a data is that? Going back to you, Matthew. What type of data is that?
Categorical.
Yeah. Character, ano? Character siya. But it can be used as a category, categorical, di ba? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Kasi junior, frosh, etc. Now, pag categorical, it's actually called a factor in R. So let's see. Let me explain that further. Let's go back to our code chunk. Okay. Now, this is a very important function. Itong structure, dito natin ilagay, Control X, Control V. Sorry, sige, wag na. Ibalik ko na. Okay. Let's first take the summary of diamonds. Okay. You can see here that because there are 10 variables, may 10 summary details ang binigay dito. First is karat, okay? Minimum, maximum, first quartile, third quartile, okay? Second quartile is the median, and sinama na rin si mean. Okay, so you can see here that for karat, it's not normally distributed. Medyo malayo si median at saka si mean. So si mean is to the right of median, which means that this is skewed to the right. No? Medyo, it means that maraming mga values ang more than 0.79, which is the mean, as compared to below 0.79. So yung concentration ng mga there are values that are high, no? High, kaya nga yung mean niya parang pinuli niya yung mean to the right compared to the median. Si median yung pinakagitnang value. Okay, so si cut, of course, we cannot get the number summaries of cut because cut is is categorical. Character siya, and then at the same time, categorical siya. So if you take a look at this, fair, good, very good, premium, ideal. Ito yung categories niya. And then you have the frequencies of the different categories. Same thing with color, no? From D to J, okay? Yung nasa gitna, yung pinakamarami, yung middle lang in terms of color. All right. Same thing with clarity, also categorical. And in R, a categorical variable is also called a factor. Okay? So may mga factors din na may subclassification pa yan. May simple factors lang, may ordinal functions lang. For example, if there was a survey asking you for the residents in city residents, you may answer Quezon City, Makati, San Juan, etc. Now, that can be used as a category. Pero it's not an ordinal category or ordinal factor. Why? Kasi hindi naman natin siya pwedeng i-rank. Pag sinabing ordinal kasi, pwedeng i-rank. Not unless you're ranking the cities into richest up to poorest. In that instance, then that can be an ordinal factor. Pero pag if you're not ranking the cities, then Makati, Manila, Quezon City, etc., they're just ordinary factors. Hindi siya ordinal. On the other hand, itong color, ito, DEF, kasi ang sabi dun sa metadata, di ba, J being the very good yung color, no? D being the worst. So, yung color is not numeric, it's character, but it's a categorical character variable. No? Okay, categorical or factor. Not only categorical, it's an ordinal categorical factor. What do we mean by ordinal? May order siya. Okay, so magkaiba yung D at saka J in terms of its ranking. Pag order kasi, ibig sabihin you can construe it to have a ranking. Okay, ganun din si clarity, ano? I think this is the best. I'm not sure. I forgot. No? Worst yata to. Worst. Okay. As to the others, no? So since numerical sila, R computes for the 5 number summaries plus the mean. Yung 5 number summary class, again, minimum, maximum, first quartile, second quartile, third quartile. Okay. So that's a 5 number summary. And by the way, class, who developed the 5 number summary metric? You recall kung sino yon, class? Kaya niya naman na-develop yon kasi ginawa niya yung box plot, no? Do you recall who did that, class? Okay, di ba ang box plot? This one. So this is a box plot. This is your quartile 1. This is your quartile 2. This one, no? Ito. And this is your quartile 3. So, ang nag-develop nito, si Tukey, no? Edward, I'm sorry. I forgot the first name, Tukey. But it was he who developed the 5-number summary. 5-number summary, okay? And it was meant to really help in constructing this box plot. Kasi, pwede tayo may mga outliers dyan. Okay? By the way, what's this point, class? Others call this the box and whisker plot. What's this point? Anyone? What's this point and what's this point? Margot, do you recall? This one and this one. Sorry, may nag-chat pala, nakatago. Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Yeah. Sorry, Matthew, I failed to recognize your answer. Correct. But it's not the minimum maximum. Okay, thank you, Margot. Thank you. It's okay. Now, Matthew, this is not the maximum and minimum. Huh? Ito, kunyari, if this is a point here, well, a while ago, kung wala yung mga outliers, that's the minimum. But if there are points outside that, okay, ito yung maximum, ito yung minimum. And this one is, but okay, what's this length? Ito, ano yung length na to? Okay, anyone, please? Would you know what that length is? Ito. This is your...
So the IQR?
Yes, correct, no? Ikaw ba yung Matthew?
Yes.
Matthew, you're correct. What's the IQR, Matthew?
Interquartile range.
Correct. It's the interquartile range, and it's a difference between Q3 minus Q1. So you subtract Q3 minus Q1, you get your interquartile range, and you need the IQR in order to compute for this whisker here, no? Yung last point na to. Okay, this length is actually your quartile 1 minus 1.5 IQR. Okay? So, if you know the 5-number summaries, syempre, alam natin yung IQR, no? Kasi yung IQR is simply quartile 3 minus quartile 1. So, if you know quartile 3 and if you know quartile 1, then we will be able to solve IQR. Then, you subtract from quartile 1, 1.5 times IQR. It will give us here, this one, the line here. Yan yung natin, yung end na ng box and whisker plot natin. Ito naman, itong distance na to, okay, so this is quartile 3, okay, plus 1.5 IQR. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, I stand corrected. This distance here, class. Okay, what's this distance? Ano sinabi ko sa distance na to? So this is quartile 1 minus, tama, sorry. Kala ko mali yung sinabi ko. Quartile 1 minus 1.5 times IQR, it's this distance. Okay, ito naman, this distance is this is also 1.5 IQR. 1.5 IQR to. Therefore, this one is this distance. It's your quartile 3 plus 1.5 times IQR. Okay? Tama ba yung sinabi ko? Oh. So this distance is your, okay, that's your 1.5 IQR. This distance also is your 1.5 IQR, this length here. Therefore, this distance is your quartile 1 minus 1.5 IQR. This distance here, okay, is quartile 3 plus 1.5 IQR. Okay, so we use that. Okay, clear yung class? Paki-chat naman please kung clear yung purpose kung bakit, why we have this 5 number summaries. It's the way, it's what we use in order to generate the box plot. Okay. How about the rest? Okay, thank you. Okay, good. All right, Ego, clear tayo so far?
Sir.
Okay, sige. All right, so let's go back. Let me, okay, clear ko muna lahat. All right, so this is our summary, di ba? And then, take a look at the structure. Control Enter. There. Okay, first, this is what we call, this is something to do now with the data structure. Okay, so si diamonds, nakita natin, it has, di ba, anong laman ni diamonds? It's a rectangular data, di ba? Kasi may mga variables tayo dito. Tapos may mga observations tayo dito. Okay? Each row here represents one observation, and each column represents an attribute, okay? Or a variable. Example, itong clarity, itong S12 na to, it's a variable, it's a type of clarity. And then you have these different observations, 53,940 observations all in all. Okay, 53,940 observations. All right, so this type of data is called a data frame. Okay, data frame siya. And you see here a table. This is a special type of data frame. It's actually a table data frame. Okay, and then we're going to make use of this more as we go along. So data frames are very important to us because most of the data, if not all, yun ang gagamitin natin sa subject na to, data frames. And then we find here, okay, dollar carat, dollar cut, etc. Now, what does this mean? The dollar here is used to denote that this is coming from this object. Ano yung name ng object natin? Diamonds. No? Check here. Yan, to diamonds. No? Okay. All right. You notice, class, that yung data natin here, diamonds, is separated from this. Ito yung mga values na to, no? Yung diamonds, data frame siya. Pero ito, mga values lang, mga vectors lang sila. So, nakaseparate siya. Nakaseparate siya. And if I view, okay, i-view ko yung ano I'll just write it in the console. Okay, di ba itong object na to? Okay, let me use G. Di ba sa G, it's 20 random numbers siya, 1 to 20. If I use view, I'll just write it in the console, view, and then G, view, and then G, run natin. Okay, take note, hindi siya nagbibigay ng ng parang spreadsheet. Yan, hindi ganito. Hindi niya binibigay yung list. Sinasabi lang niya na G has a type double or numeric yung class niyan. Tapos ito yung mga values niya. Okay? If I click this, alright, i-load lang siya dito, no? Para pag rinan ko, ipiprint. So dito, pwede natin i-print dito siya sa console or dito sa source. But not here. Okay? So, what type of data structure is G? It's a vector. Kasi pare-pareho siyang numeric, no? Unlike kapag data frame, it can be a combination. It's a rectangular format. So dapat each column should have a name. Each column should have a label. No? Yan, yung mga label, yung mga variables na yan. So, pag data frame class, pag view natin, bibigyan tayo ng ganitong output dito sa tabs natin dito. Pero kapag kapag vector lang, hindi siya magpiprint ng ganito. Okay. Alright. So, okay. So we can see here that, let's go here to, tingnan nyo itong cat. No? Di ba si cat, character siya. Fair, good, etc. Pero, sabi natin, it can be used as a classifier, so factor siya. Categorical yan, categories. Okay, pero it's not only a factor, it's not only a category, an ordinary, it's a, not ordinary, it's not only a category, it's what we call an ordinal. Here, the ord here means ordinal category. So pag ordinal kasi, ordinal factor, ordinal category, it means that there's a hierarchy. Okay? May hierarchy siya. Ordinal ibig sabihin nun, di ba? Kunyari, if you're taking a look at performance, very good, good, fair, poor, and very poor. So that's a type of a categorical variable, an ordinal categorical variable kasi pwede siyang may ranking. Okay, clear siya, class? Paki-chat please kung clear tayo so far. At least yung pagtingin natin dito. Okay, ay si price, tingnan nyo, class, si price is an integer. No? So meron tayong ditong, meron tayong numerical, meron tayong character or factor, meron tayong integer. So tatlong data types natin dito. Okay, good, thank you. Okay, clear ba so far, Margo and Mariel? Clear tayo so far sa in taking a look at this. Okay, we should know, as we should master understanding yung structural function ng isang data o ng isang object. Okay. So as I said, yung dollar dito is very important. Because, try nyo nga, class, why don't we do this? Why don't you get the mean or the average of, kunin natin, can we get the average of, okay. Can you get the average of carat? Let me request, Ego, can you do this? And the rest of you kindly also follow. Can we compute for the mean of carat?
Error, sir.
Error. Bakit kaya error?
Object carat not found.
Object carat not found. Diba? Kasi, if you take a look at our objects here, diba? Observations natin, whether values or data, R does not see carat. Okay? Kasi carat is a variable under diamonds. So if we're going to get the mean of a data of a particular, let's say, variable, dapat isasama natin kung saan siya nanggagaling. Ayan, and put the dollar sign there. Okay, so mean diamonds dollar carat. Can you do that now, Ego? Okay, were you able to get the mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
0.70.
Okay, so good.
397.
Thank you. Okay, so clear yung class, ano? Sabi dito sa natin, let me go back to the structure. Ito, no? Yung dollar na yan is very important because it tells us that you cannot access these variables unless you link it to the object, which is diamonds. All right, and we can do this with the others. Now, what if I want, is it possible to just get the mean of carat? Yes, it is. Diba? Pwede. But we will have to create that object. It will have to be present here. Dapat andito siya sa mga object dito, no? Sa environment natin. So, one thing that we can do is, can you suggest how to get the mean of carat without using diamonds? What's our suggestion here? Matthew, any suggestion?
I'm not sure, sir.
Not sure. So anyone? Marielle or Margot? Would you like to suggest anything? Ang ano natin, ang challenge is for us to be able to compute the mean ni carat. And you know that carat comes from the diamonds data set, no? So we were able to do that by linking carat with diamonds. This one. Diba ito? However, what we want now is, how do we, okay, this one. Diba ito? How do we now get the mean of carat? So is it possible to get the mean of carat? Mean and then carat. Pwede ba yun? Of course, that's possible, class. How? Well, you have to have this object. Dapat may object tayo na carat. Okay? So, di ba? Kailangan may object tayo na carat para makuha yung mean ni carat. So one way to do this is, let's create this object carat. Alt minus, di ba? Yan ang assignment operator natin. And then diamonds. Di ba? Carat. Di ba? Okay? So we're subsetting from diamonds the variable carat there. Okay, and then we're creating this object carat. So if we run this, okay, may carat na dito sa object natin, di ba? There, it's a numeric vector. Okay, and then, so if we now get the mean of carat, pwede na. Yan, mean carat, pwede na, 0.79, no? Okay, kindly chat please if you are able to get it, kung clear tayo. If you were able to follow along, yes, thank you. Okay, the rest? Okay. All right. So, what's another way to do this? Pwede rin ganito, no? Let's name this carat 1, alt minus, and then you can use these diamonds and then brackets, no? Okay. This brackets is used for subsetting. Para i-subset natin. So, dalawang numbers yan. First is row, second is column. Okay, ang tanong, anong gusto natin i-subset na row? Okay, one way to do this is, di ba ito? Di ba 53,940 rows? So, for us to identify 1 up to 53,940. Yan. So, that's the row number that we want included in this data set, in this object carat 1. Okay? And then what's the column number, class? Row tapos column. Dito ba? Wala na, no? Pang ilang column, class, si ano? Pang ilang column si carat? Please, pang ilang column si carat? Okay, I think it's column 1, di ba? Second ba, Matthew? Yeah, di ba first? First siya, no? First. Okay, so you put here column 1. Para makita nyo. Okay, so this one is row numbers 1 up to 53,940, and then column 1. So let's run this. Okay, may carat 1 na, no? Yan, 53,940 observations of one variable. So if I check head ni carat 1, oops. Okay, kasi ano siya, no? Yan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ito. So isa lang siya, di ba? Isang ano lang, isang variable lang. So we were able to generate this object called carat 1, and then we can get the mean now kasi may carat 1 na tayo. Or another way to do this is just simply leave this blank. Okay? If you leave this blank, ibig sabihin lahat ng rows kasama. Okay, so you can check na lang, no, if that's the same. All right? Okay. So,
Sir, nag-error sa akin.
nag-error.
Sa
I-chat mo nga yung ano, yung code chunk mo. Nag-error yung ano.
Nung carat 1.
Copy mo nga yung code mo. Or
Wait,
better,
sorry.
sige, better still, ganito, no? Mas maganda kung
Ay,
dapat,
okay na sir. Sorry, I forgot to put diamonds pala.
ito. Oh, you have to put this, ha? Kasi brackets lang linagay mo.
Yes, sir. I forgot.
Wala, mag-error talaga yan kasi hindi alam ni R kung anong ginagawa natin dyan. Okay, thank you for that question, Igo. That's very good. Okay, we learn from questions like this. No? Okay, so is there any other way na makukuha natin yung mean ni carat without creating the carat object? Pwede ba? Okay, sige. Ang gagawin ko ngayon, i-remove ko si carat, ha? RM, which means remove. I'm going to remove carat. Nag-intelligence siya. Yan, no? Okay. Asan si carat? Ito, no? I'm going to remove carat. Okay, control enter. Okay, so nawala na si carat nawala na si carat dun sa environment natin. And then I'm going to get mean of carat. Okay? Mean of carat, enter. All right, error na, no? Bakit? Kasi hindi niya makita, parang kanina, no? Hindi na niya makita si carat. All right. So how can we do that, class? How can we get the mean of carat na without creating the object carat? Control Alt I. Okay, I'm going to create a code chunk here. There's a way to do that. Huh? And the way to do that is to use the attach function. Attach. Diamonds. Okay, so what's this attach function for? Okay, this is used if, number one, if you're only making use of one data set, or if you're using several data sets, no? But for this next lines of codes, si diamonds lang gagamitin mo. Kasi attach diamonds means that lahat ng mga susunod na code, kapag may variable na na-mention, link it always to diamonds. Okay? All right, so let's run this, attach diamonds. Okay. Now let's get the standard deviation of carat. There. Diba? Na-compute niya. No? Kahit na hindi natin ginamit si diamonds. Carat. Meaning diamonds. Meaning diamonds, yes. Nakuha niya. Okay? In-attach natin si diamonds. Alright, let's compute for the, okay, how about kurtosis? Okay, si kurtosis class, may kurtosis na function, pero galing siya sa, lalagay ko dito, ha. It's coming from your, install that packages. May package na moments, no? I leave you guys to study more ano yung ginagawa nitong moments na to. Kasi si moments, di ba? First moment, second moment, third moment, fourth moment. Measures of central tendency yan. Okay? Si first moment is mean. Second moment is variance. Third moment is skewness. And fourth moment is kurtosis. Okay? So, na-load na natin yung package. Okay. I-ano nyo ako, ha? Call my attention if I'm Mabilis ako. Install that packages moments and then i-library natin, of course, library, or you can, another way to do it, go to packages and then look for yan, moments, no? And then click this one. Yan, tingnan nyo, if I click this one, isusulat niya library moments. Okay? So loaded na to. All right, and then if let's press kurtosis. Yan. Lalabas na tong function ng kurtosis. Okay, if I click this, help. Ayan. Kurtosis comes from the moments package. Okay, it computes for the kurtosis, yung fourth order na central tendency. All right? So, let's see. Kurtosis ni Karat. Okay, kaya din niya, no? 4.25. In fact, si scuba, S-K-E-W, yan, skewness, no? Skewness from the moments package, skewness ni kurtosis, ni Karat, enter, and 1.11. All right, so here you can see that we can compute yung mga 4 moments natin, no? Variance, we can do that. It's just the square of the standard deviation. Oops, error. Ano nangyari? Ano ba yung var ba? Let me see, var ba siya? Ayan, var. Sorry. Var. Tama ba nasa from moments yan? Okay, for me to check if galing yan sa sa moments package. So what you can do is to write the name of the package and then double colon, and let's see. V, wala, hindi sa kanya galing yung hindi sa kanya galing yung variance. Walang V. Okay. Let's see where the base R lang yata yan, no? Question mark, var. Okay, here. Variance. Okay, stats package. Si stats package yung var. Okay, anyway, I just wanted to show you that we can compute for the moments, no? Yung first moment is the mean, second moment is a standard deviation, variance, third moment is skewness, and fourth moment is kurtosis, which are measures of central tendency. All right. Okay, so, and don't forget, unless you're just working with one data set, okay lang yan, no? Okay lang yan. Pero kunyari, gagamit ka na ng ibang data set. Make sure to detach natin. Detach natin diamonds. Kasi magkaka-problem ka kung hindi mo dinetach. Tapos gumagamit ka ng variable na baka nakalimutan mo na from another data set pala yun. So detach natin. If I run again, let's say kurtosis ni Karat, error na siya, no? Hindi na siya nararan kasi na-detach ko na si diamonds. Okay? So by way of review, we use this. If you're only dealing with one data set, okay lang yan. No? I-attach mo para hindi na mahirap na gagawin natin na dollar pa. I-link natin dun sa data set natin. Okay? Alright, clear so far, class? Paki-chat naman please kung clear so far. Okay, good. How about the others? Yeah, thank you. Okay. All right, thank you so much for your feedback. All right, we'll just start with the introduction of this. And then, kasi dito din natapos yung kabilang class, no? At least at par na tayo with them. Okay, so that, so Friday, okay, when you join, you're joining 9:15, di ba? When you're joining 9:15, then okay na, same na yung yung level natin, no? Okay, so when we talk about data structures, okay, yung data types, it can be combined to form data structure. So combination ng data types, okay? So there are different types of data, data structures. Okay, data structure types it can be a vector, can be a list, can be matrix, array, factors, data frames. We had an example of this, in Diamond's data frame. Okay, and we have had examples of vectors. Lahat to vectors. All of these are vectors. Why? A vector, okay, we'll define this. A vector is a basic data structure in R. It's atomic. Ang ibig sabihin ng atomic, isang klaseng data type lang. One data type. So if it's a numeric lang sila lahat. Logical lahat. Integer, complex. Okay? So pare-pareho. Okay? On the other hand, kapag more than one type, it can be a list or it can be a data frame. Okay? Sige. So let's have an example. Okay, yung numeric data set, alam na natin yan. Okay, pati itong RNUM, ginawa na natin. So we'll not do that anymore. An example of a numeric vector is ito. Yung ano natin, yung, asan na yung, okay. Okay, let's create here an object. Create na lang tayo. No? So Control Alt I. Let's create an object called num. Okay, numbers. Sige, mag-set.seed muna tayo. Set.seed. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I'm going to create a nums object, alt minus. And then this is our norm. Okay. Oops, sorry. Our norm. And then let's have kahit 100 na lang for purposes of an example. Mean is equal to 100 yung mean. Okay, and standard deviation is equal to 5. Okay. So we're creating this number and then i-head na lang natin, head ng nums. Right? Then we'll get the class ng nums. No? Okay, type of then. Okay, so here are the functionalities that we can get. No? We can use. All right, so let's run this. Okay, let me run this first. In first three, run natin, Control Enter. So of course we should have the same numbers. Ito, no? Okay. Are you able to follow along? Kindly chat, please. Okay, I might be going too fast. Okay, so, okay, thank you. Let's wait for the others to be able to follow. Okay, thank you. All right, good. So, may object na tayong nums, iba? Makikita natin dito, no? Nums. Okay. So, let's check the class of that. Class. Numeric siya lahat, di ba? Type of double to, no? Double. So, it's a set of, you have 100 observations. So, this is an example. Nums is an example of a vector. So, vector siya kasi pare-pareho yung laman niya, pare-parehong data type. No? All numerical. In the same manner, itong E, diba? So let me get the class of E here. Class, diba kinuha natin to kanina? Class E. Okay. Class E is integer, no? Si E, ito. So pare-pareho siyang integer. So which means that this is a vector. And also this object called obj, class obj, class obj is character, lahat characters. No? So it can be, lahat siya numeric, lahat siya integer, lahat siya, okay, let's create another one, dito lang. Let's create this object, A1, control minus, and then let's see, you have, Bakit hindi siya nag-capital? Okay, we have a list of, okay, control enter. So A1 is, okay, logical siya, no? Yan, logical siya. Remember, kapag logical, either the word true or just the first letter, capitalized. No? So this is also a vector. So A1 is a vector. So all of these things here, all of this data here are all vectors. Okay, dito, si carat 1 and si diamonds, these are data frames. They are data frames. All right. So we can generate numerical vectors, integer vectors, character vectors, logical vectors, etc. Okay. So as we said, a vector can only be composed of one data type. This means that you cannot have both a numeric and character in the same vector. Okay. If you do this, may mangyayari, magkakaroon ng what we call coercion. Okay, the lower rank type will be coerced into the higher rank type. So let me now talk about coercion, because this is where we ended last time. So let's end here. No? Okay, hindi namin nasimulan yung list. So that's what we're going to discuss next, starting next meeting. Okay, coercion muna. So there's this rule of coercion. So ang pinaka-lower rank is logical. Ang pinaka-higher rank is character. Not that character is better, bilang ranking lang. No? Ranking not in the sense na mas mataas yung rango nila, not in that sense. In terms of coercion lang. No? So, the lower rank type daw will be coerced into the higher rank. What does this mean? So, logical, integer, numeric, complex, and character. So, which means that si logical can be coerced to become a character, but character cannot be coerced to become complex, nor numeric. Kasi si character ang pinakamataas na ranking, so hindi mo pwede si character gawing integer. No? Pero si integer, pwede mong gawing character. Obviously, di ba? Kunyari, logical, T or true. Di ba? So create tayo dito, no? Control Alt I, okay? So let's suppose that let's create this object L anyone lang, A2. A2, hindi, si A1 na lang yung kanina, no? Yung true or false. A1, okay, i-print natin si A1. Di ba? Ito si A1, no? Logical siya. True, false, false, true, true. Okay. Now, can we coerce this as a character? Pwede ba natin gawing character ito? Yes. So let's create this object A2. Okay, A2. And then I'm going to convert it into as that character. Ayan, no? As that character, okay, si A1. Ayan. So what am I doing? I am making A1, which is a logical vector, into a character vector. Okay, Control Enter. Okay, let's see. May A2 na ba? Yes. And what type of vector is this? Character na siya. Tingnan nyo dito, no? Yes. Yun, character na siya. So na-coerce natin na yung logical vector natin gawing character. Let's try the reverse. A3, Alt minus, then as that logical natin. So si A2, which is a character vector, gawin nating logical. A3, we're creating this object A3, and we're converting A2 as a logical vector. Let's try. Okay. Anong sabi? Okay. Okay. Parang nagbago na yung ano, no? I think yung coercion, yung laws ng coercion, medyo minodify na nila. Kasi dati, hindi pa pwede ito. You cannot convert, A2 is a character vector, di ba? Okay, character siya. You cannot convert a character into a logical vector. Okay? Siguro ang exception dito, kasi si A2 nanggaling sa A1, no? Let's try another character variable class. Itong object class, itong object. Diba? Object is A, B, C, D, E. let's see if object can be converted into, okay, gawin ko A4, alt minus, as.logical, si obj. Diba si obj is a character vector. Right? Ito, no? Character vector siya. Tapos, let's see if we can convert si character, si obj to become logical. I'm creating this object A4, control enter. All right, A4. Okay, nag-create nga siya kaso wala rin, walang laman, no? NA, 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 NA. Kasi yung ABCD yun eh. Okay. So in this case, yung nauna na case, si A2, which consists of character na true, true, false, false, etc., it was able to convert, no? Ginawa niyang A3. Okay, si A3, asa na? Yan, si A3. Nagawa niyang logical. Kasi ang laman ni A2, true, true, false, false, true. Okay, so naging parang exception na siya, no? But generally, you cannot convert a character into a logical. Ito. Okay, so i-print nga natin si A4. Let's see. So i-print natin si A4. Yan, panay NA. No? Panay not applicable. So in a sense, wala siyang laman. Okay, pause muna ako. Am I clear on that so far, class? Am I going too fast? Okay. Okay, thank you, Margot. Okay, thank you, Matthew. About Ego, Mariel, okay ba kayo so far? Okay, thank you. All right, good. Okay, so yung rule ng coercion, no? Generally, this follows unless may mga exception, katulad na nakita natin ngayon. Okay, dati hindi pa pwede yan, pero I think, kaya nga si R is evolving eh. Ngayon, pwede na ma-coerce yung character consisting of true, false, false, true, true. Pwede mo siya ma-coerce into a logical. Pero yung character na A, B, C, D, E, okay, although ginawa niyang class, gawin natin class si A4. Class A4, okay, let's see. It's logical nga. Gumawa siya ng logical, pero walang laman. Hindi niya na-coerce talaga. No? All right. So, what else? Okay, kuha tayong ibang examples, no? Okay, how about this? Let's create a few more examples, then we'll call it a day. Okay. Let's create, Control Alt I. Let's create a vector called O1 na lang, O1. Object 1 is C, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we put L here, L, oops, L, 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 L. Okay, so we're creating an object, a vector of integers. Enter natin to. All right, so we have O1, no? Let's check the class of O1 class. Class O1. So integer siya. Okay. Now let's create this object O2. And then si O2, i-convert natin into numeric as that numeric. Okay, as that numeric O1. And then isama na rin natin sa class O2. All right, so let's run this. We're creating this object class in O2, and then it's a conversion, it's coercing O1, which is integer, into numeric. Before we answer this class, is this possible? Yes, this is possible because an integer can be coerced into a numeric. All right. So let's see. Enter natin. Okay, so meron tayong O2. Let's check O2, numeric na siya, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, tingnan natin kung pwedeng reverse. Dati hindi pa pwede to, no? O3 out minus as that integer. Okay. Baka pa pwede na ngayon to, no? So yung vector na numeric, yung O2, gagawin nating integer. Let's see. Control Enter. Tama natin si class O3. Okay, Control Enter. Wait. O3, yes. So nag-create pa rin yan, no? Okay, so I think this rule should be modified now, no? Kasi in certain cases, nako-convert from numeric na pwedeng gawing integer. No? Here, I'll try another one. No? So let me say x1. Okay. As that numeric. Okay. Let's see. C1L and then 2L. Okay. Here, I'm creating this object x1. Tapos, kino-convert ko as numeric itong 1L, 2L vector na to, no? And then let me type plus x1. Okay. Pwede, no? Na-coerce niya si numeric, si 1L, 2L, which are integers, na-coerce niya into numeric. Sabi natin as just numeric. So I think I will have to review this kasi ito yung dating rule yan eh. Mukhang nabago na. No? Mukhang nabago na. Madali, yung moving forward, madali siya. Kasi logical to character, pwede yun. Diba? Kunyari, unlogical natin, true. Can this be converted into character? Or first, complex, no? Tingnan natin. Let's create this object T1. And then, let's see. It's T, no? True siya. Tingnan natin yung class ni T1. So, logical siya, di ba? Si T1. Tapos si T1, let me create this object to T2 as that complex. Okay? Co-convert natin si T1 to be a complex number. Take note, si T1 is true, di ba? Yan, T1 is true. And then, paprint na natin by putting parentheses there. Yan. Alright, yan. So, pwede, no? Si logical, ginawa niyang complex. Kasi true is equal to 1. So, to convert it into a complex number, 1 plus 0 ay lang. Kasi ito yung real component, ito yung imaginary component. Okay? So, generally, ito yung rules ng coercion. Logical, integer, numeric can be converted into complex, but not necessarily vice versa. At least not always, no? Kunyari, let's just try another object, T3, and then let's see, 3 plus 2i. Complex class T3. So what am I doing here? I'm creating this object T3, and then I'm asking for the class of T3. So it's a complex number, no? And then let's create T4, and let's ask that integer. Generally, the rule is from complex, it cannot be converted into integer. Ask that integer si T3. Yung coercion, let's see. And then let's ipaprint na natin si T4. Control Enter. Okay. Warning, may warning siya, no? Imaginary parts discarded in coercion. So ang na-convert lang niya, na-coerce lang niya yung complex, no? Yung real number si 3, but not the TI. So it's not a complete coercion. Okay. While kanina dun sa from logical to complex na na-convert niya. Okay, so all right. Okay, so let me stop recording.